I mean, I'm very surprised by his optimism. I think we're back to where we were a few months ago. We haven't heard of any real progress. He's referring to the platform under which the elections were won. And this is clearly a political platform. It's not a realistic platform to execute Brexit. And the Europeans would not agree to most of these rules. So I'm really surprised to think that they're going to finish an agreement in a couple of months, given how long it has taken to get us to where we are today.
Okay, so if this is posturing, let's just throw that possibility out there, that Prime Minister Boris Johnson is perhaps indicating he thinks in a strong position, that he thinks he can get a deal done. How seriously do you think he's willing to take this to the brink and leave without a deal?
I mean, we've been asking this question, I don't know how often for the last years. How serious are the Brits taking the possibility of a no-deal exit? Again, I think it's going to hurt the UK if it ever came to that solution. I don't think it's in the interest of the UK. I think it comes back to the issue we've had discussed a few times before, which is it's all about politics. It's all about how we can present this to our constituencies. In the case of Johnson is the voters in the UK in a way that looks successful. Maybe we can come up with solutions. We might not be too different from what the UK had already in place with the European Union before, but they can be presented in a way as a successful Brexit. And I think that's, to me, the question that has been there before. And it's again, it's the question that is in front of us again today.
So you're saying, Antonio, this would be a lot about managing the optics, and that we could, if Prime Minister Boris Johnson is committed to meeting the July timeline, look at a compromise deal, the softest of soft Brexit deals?
I think it is possible. I think the interesting question is something has changed since the election, and the last time we talked about these negotiations is we've had now an economic crisis that is hitting the world really, really hard, and is hitting the UK very, very hard. So I think that changed a little bit the priorities. It is possible that one could today hide some of those compromises in a way that we couldn't do a few months ago, because we're all paying attention to something else that looks a lot more important and a lot bigger from an economic point of view than Brexit. So it could be that these really negative circumstances from an economic point of view caused by this global pandemic might help somehow find a compromise between the UK and Europe that was impossible before.